Amrita, I can see several people on our list of attendees. Maybe some of them would like to comment. Anu Nair. Somebody named Anu, would you like to comment? Jeevan is here with us from Munich. Jeevan ji, namaskaram. Jeevan ji, namaskaram. Jeevan is a very special person for us in that he has trained in Ayurveda in one of the traditional schools that was set up by Ayurveda pharmacy. They learned Ayurveda living in the forests, and it was a very, very special group of people who were trained in Ayurveda in a very unique style. And Jeevan now lives and practices in near Munich in Bavaria. Jeevan ji, namaskar.
Namaskar. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loudly, clearly. Please do comment.
Okay. I have only one comment because what I studied from Coimbatore, the Gurukula, or how I am practicing in Germany, according to me, is each case is a special case. You cannot take one case history to another patient. So even Charaka or Shusruta or Vagbhata, according to me, all the medical combinations, all the case histories are all focused on some of the patients. And from this, we should understand the mathematical logic, and we have to combine new plans and new protocols. Maybe the protocol may be the same, but the plans combination will be different. That's what my concern. And maybe such type of Ayurveda modalities should be come out. Thank you.
I wanted to, we missed having you as a panelist because you were not well. Number one, how are you today? Are you back from the hospital? Are you home?
Yes. I have discharged 2 days before.
Okay, so we will look forward to having you in one of our future events. I will discuss this offline. Number two, if you have very, very quickly a comment about how Ayurveda is accepted in Germany, where you are in Bavaria, the traditional, very traditional part of Germany. Just very briefly for our audience. We'll come back to this in a fuller webinar.
Okay. Thank you, Madanji.
I know you are a great proponent of Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and all those aspects. So this is.
Thank you.
So the question is, how is all this accepted? Is it easy to convey this?
I see. Okay. So according to me, because I am practicing Ayurveda very traditionally, because I don't want to talk any modern medical systems or anything here to the patient, because patients are fed up with the modern style of treatments and everything. So they come for an alternative thinking and alternative kind of treatments. Maybe I'm using only the technology or something for the prognosis, but the treatments and the teachings are completely traditional, and that is accepted by the people. Even the allopathic doctors are also studying from me Ayurveda, because this is the concept they want. Because if we translate anything into modern medical sciences, why we should do that? Because we have our own theory and we have our own concept. So here it's encouraging the patients, maybe not the medical wing or the medical fraternity, not, but the patients are interested in such kind of the nutrition, all the modalities, nutrition, spices, dinacharya, rudacharya, rudasandhis, panchakarma, herbal preparations, and yoga, asana, pranayama. All these modalities, according to me, is in Ayurveda. But here nowadays is everybody is doing their own thing. Vegan is vegan, Ayurveda is Ayurveda, yoga is completely from different. Nobody has a combination. So the thing is, patient is important, and which modalities you are using, that is up to you, because patient trusts you, and your final result is the healing and well-being of the patient. That's what here in Bavaria, what I am doing.
Thank you, Jeevanji. Now that you are fit and strong and back, we will try and catch you in one of our international webinars. Depending on your availability, we will try and get you back. We missed you, but thank you again for being with us. It's a delight to hear about how Ayurveda is accepted and how people are liking it, even in deep Bavaria. I know you live in the depths of Bavaria, but it's lovely. So
thank you, Madan.
Thank you. We will come back to you offline. We'll connect with you and find your availability for future events. Thank you so much. We have Lena Thomas. Lena, I don't know where you are from, whether you are online, and if you wanted to add to our discussions. Lena, hello. Dr. Aswati Krishna. Aswati? Aswati?
Yeah, Kudal.
If you wanted to contribute.
ये सबका तो फर्स्ट आइटम आ गया ना.
Aswati? If you wanted to talk, no? Okay, if I don't see any hands coming up, anybody wanting to talk, Jayesh Thakkar, Jayesh ji, would you like to comment? No? Thank you. Anybody else, if there's anybody else who wants to make a comment before I pass the, anybody, no more hands coming up. As, can you see any more questions for us, Amrita? Anything else? Nothing coming through, no. Now, Amrita, if I can take just 2 minutes to show a few slides, if you will permit me, then I just want to go into some, just see if I can circumscribe some of the key points that we have with a few slides. I've shared these slides before, and I want to see if I can convey a few thoughts slightly differently, but touching on the points that we worked through. And you've seen these slides, perhaps you've seen these slides before, but I want to bring them up here because they may resonate with some of the ideas and thoughts that were shared by many of us at this event. So, number one. Now you should be able to see a blank screen here. Can you see my screen?
No.
A blank screen. Okay, there it is. Can you see this one?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the kind of interactions that are going on. This was an event held in New Delhi last year, early in the new year. And we touched on this. We touched on aspects of best practice. I think Baswati gave us very clearly that best practice is still out there with the practitioners in the villages. And we need to see if we can capture this. And I feel there is best practice also in institutions like this. And these are the kind of interactions we've been having with people in New Delhi at the Modern Medicine Institutes. And the players that we have is the European Ayurveda Association, the Medical University in Graz, a team from France, And Jeevan presented also at the Medical University in Graz. So there is a network, and we will try and reinforce this network, especially to address questions that Vidya Shankar is asking about techniques and aspects. Now, in terms of integration between the modalities, as Katochji said, that the epistemological foundations of the sciences like Ayurveda, Ayush is one side of the banks of a river, and modern medicine is the other side of the banks of the river. And they will remain the two banks, and the knowledge flows as the river. And we will find a way to link these two. And I've shown here systems, the yoga systems and their understanding of the human body, the modern biology and understanding of the human body, the Chinese system and their understanding of the human body. We will try and see how we can bring this, all of this together. Is there a deep science and mathematics, and is there a mathematical way to represent some of the ideas, the concept of Mahashrota and Shrotas in Ayurveda? Yes, there are concepts with us, and these are very old concepts. These are concepts, the concept of the flux tube. This has been with us since 1840, since the time of Faraday. And there are things there, and maybe we can bring it all together. You know, we will try and have these meetings and workshops where we can discuss these things. Books have been written about it. Here is Herbert Froelich and his book on biological systems and biological coherence. And these are all ideas that are available, but the challenge is to bring them onto one platform where people can discuss these things. We are in the process of doing these studies, trying to see if we can take concepts from Chinese medicine, like the meridians, the 12 or 14 meridians in the Chinese system. There are documents published by the WHO on standardization of acupuncture points and meridians. So the WHO is also aware of these things. And maybe what is required is many more minds to come together and revisit those documents and bring them all together and enable those cross-fertilization dialogues. We have had meetings in Austria at the university in Innsbruck. This was early this year, on health, wellness, well-being, and the new narratives that are needed. And we say the current, everybody agrees that the current narrative is disease-centric and disease-based. And what is missing here are concepts of health, wellness, well-being, and the concepts that Katochji mentioned today about health promotion, health maintenance, disease prevention, and perhaps even new cures that will come from visiting our systems of medicine. We need to understand these things better. And there is no better place than Ayurveda. There are people who have written the old texts. Basmati ji here has written a whole book on Dinacharya, which is a bestseller in the India Amazon books list. So we are fortunate that we are on the right track. And I hope as these dialogues progress, we will understand a little more of how to verbalize this and influence policy as we go along. And as an example, these are documents that are available to all. The Unani medicine texts are available. The benchmarks for training in Unani medicine is available at the WHO website here. And benchmarks for training in Ayurveda also available at the WHO website. But somehow the traction is not yet where it should be. The point I want to highlight here from the opening few pages of this document is that the entire document, publication, costs involved were all sponsored by the region of Lombardy in Italy, for which Milan is the capital. So there are friends there in other parts of the world. We must become aware of who these friends are. And I'm hoping that the Ayush Valley will provide that platform where we can bring all these people together and enable this dialogue and discussion across the world. Other aspects that are going on, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is central to some of the discussions that Bala Prasadji is talking about the number of villages and how we must put health into all these villages. And they are difficult challenges, but if we keep hammering at it at every one of our events, we talk about it again and again and again and again, and we bring people from the ministries, whether it's Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, or Ministry of Ayush, or Ministry of Commerce, or the state ministries, state departments of Ayush, and we keep hammering away at this, we can become those actors for change. Things are already happening in many parts of India. This is the Go Vigyan Kendra in Maharashtra. People are already there training people in organic farming, organic agriculture. They have trained thousands of people now. Maybe something similar can be done in terms of this new initiative that we have taken here in the Ayush Valley. I want to highlight a few things that are happening here in the United Kingdom. This is the United Kingdom's Research and Innovation Initiative. Clearly, Corona is on everybody's mind, but what is interesting is how every country reinterprets those aspects of a new way of wanting to live life, new way of delivering health. And this is the example in the UK's initiative. They have to be sensitive to local businesses, that they have nurtured over the years. But this is what is coming through, that they want to see new ways of thinking that connect animal health and plant health and human health together. The COVID example is a typical example where we see what happens when potential zoonotic pathogens cross barriers. So there are people, there are friends around, and there are bigger dialogues happening around the world. And this is the European Health Forum. I'm hoping that the Ayush Valley will become a very prominent voice in fora like this, like the European Health Forum, where we will press and we will articulate our wishes and comments and invitations more clearly to bring players into our space. I advertise a little bit an event that is going to happen in next June in Prague. We call it the World Health Congress. Please do visit this website, worldwideweb.whc2020prague.com. Several of us on this platform today are already involved in this activity, and also an activity here in London, the European Congress for Integrative Medicine. Katoch made a comment that he doesn't quite understand what integrative medicine is, but here are big events that are trying to shape a new way of thinking about health and healthcare and medicine. The website for this event, worldwideweb.ecimcongress.com. So these are the kind of initiatives that are going on. Man, as we understand, is a very complex organism. We need more than systems thinking to understand this. We might have to go beyond some of the concepts that we have today in basic physics, fundamental physics and basic sciences, and to understand the complexity of the human being. And I finish off with this comment. It doesn't matter what resources you have. If you really don't know how to use them, you will, no amount of resources are going to be enough. Now, I can see a raised hand from Baswati. Baswati, you are there. If you allow Baswati to talk, she raised her hand. Baswati, do you want to comment?
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, thank you for putting me back in the group. So I think there's a place where we're all waiting for some kind of practitioner who actually knows how to do clinical research to put forth a, what should we say, a protocol or an example or a model of how to do a clinical research study. I won't say that there's no one that is able to do it because we haven't explored every nook and cranny of the country. And so what I do know is that there are many, many, many Ayush practitioners who submitted trials, for example, for the COVID call for research. I think it's an important exercise that we could do a post-mortem. So we have not done that. And I think it would be a very, very good research endeavor for the Ministry of Ayush to allow those protocols which were submitted by permission of the authors to have a forum where people could critically analyze, provide feedback, and show why those studies were not fast forwarded for funding, for grants. There are a lot of doctors who said, I submitted a grant, I didn't get to do it. This is obviously a human clinical study. This is not, I think there were a few studies that looked at drugs, but most of them were clinical human research studies. Why was there not more done with the copious data that were submitted in April and May?
I think
So,
very, very important question that you've raised. And I think we can bring Katoch ji back on this and Balaprasad ji back on this, and maybe minds like yourself and several others, to do this so-called post-mortem analysis.
That's right. And I just want to finish saying that if we do that and we can help those people to understand, the students that would listen would learn about methodology and technical things which they don't understand. For example, Dinesh talked about ethical clearance. Ethical clearance was not there for many of the studies, so they had to put them aside. There are IRBs, issues which are taught to every first-year MD student that they don't understand. They are not evaluated to understand. They don't register for CTRI, the Clinical Trials Registry of India. I, in my entire PhD group, was the only one that had a CTRI registered study during my the MDs and PhDs at BHU in my department. Why is that? Why is it that mine was the only one when we had 20 scholars? When you have students and practitioners who are excellent clinicians and just want help from the people that claim to be authorities in research, what we need is for them to take those proposals and do what NIH does, which is to provide some feedback on those proposals that are good but just missing the mark, so that those people can gain confidence at research and for their research proposal. And I think if you did that, you would find 500 or 1,000 researchers immediately pull themselves up to the mark and become valid researchers for the ministry. Ministry has not invested that kind of effort for them, and they've really lost out in getting people who they could have had in the COVID journey, because I know many of those protocols would be of interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Baswati. Thank you so much. We are running out of time. I'm tempted to get a 30-second response from Balaprasad ji.
No, I cannot comment on the present proposals submitted to Ayush Ministry because I'm not dealing with that. Now, the only thing that extramural research projects are, I appreciate the point that it should be done in transparent way. If some projects were not accepted, the proposal should be informed that why it was not accepted. That point I concede. But specific things I cannot comment because I have not seen the proposal. I have left Ayush Ministry on 14th November 2014. So after, if something has happened, I can't comment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. But I think you've given the answer I was hoping to hear, which is that you feel it's a valid way to approach. So yeah. I'm going to finish off here. Thanks to all of you for joining us at this event. And particular thanks to the Ayush Valley team who have worked hard behind the scenes to prepare the promotional material, to bring us all together on this platform, for recording the event, and then hopefully soon editing it and archiving it in our website. So thanks to many people, particularly Yadu, Babu, who's there in the background, and also Anjali, who's our designer. I also want to thank some of the people involved, deeply involved in the Ayush Valley Foundation project. Girish, Mr. Girishan, who's here with us, is central to holding us all together. And you will see all the details on the website. Benny Thomas, who's here with us, who was instrumental in catalyzing this activity to generate and to make the foundation come together. Dr. Majid, who is also here with us among the attendees, a person who we value very much in terms of making us think critically and think correctly and think about where we should be going in the future. Finally, Jairam, holding all our accounting systems together, central to all this. Everybody,
Please mute the third person who's loud right now. Please mute him.
And disabling all the speakers. So thank you all for being with us. Our next webinar, our international webinar, will be a continuation of a theme we had the last time, which is freedom for Ayurveda. We had a very, very good turnout. We had very, very interesting, important contributions. And we felt it was a theme that needs revisiting. We need to give it a little more time. So that is what we have. I invite all of you to join us for the next international webinar, which will be the next one that we have on Friday, the 28th of August, at starting 4:30 in the evening. The e-posters are being prepared. They will be circulated to everybody who's on the mailing list. Thank you again. I leave it to Amrita. Thank you so much, Amrita, for being with us, and all yours.
Oh, thank you, sir. And it's actually finished off, and you have already concluded and given thanks to everyone. So my duty is very much reduced. So finally, I thank all the delegates and also the speakers, Dr. Varghese Thomas, for giving interesting and eye-opening session regarding different concepts of research models, and your university. And it was very nice seeing the session and the presentation. And I thank all the attendees once again. And thank you, Madan sir, for giving me this platform. I'm just a budding doctor, just coming out of the PG studies. So thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to get more connected with the dignitaries who have spoken and who have criticized on this session. Thank you, sir.
So thank you all. Bye-bye.